So guys, here it is. Okay. So our correct answer is warm over here, guys. Okay. The correct answer is your warm. All right. Because it's traveling in your network from one network to another and causes similar types of damage as viruses to the infectious system. So that will be your worm. All right. If you talk about the next question, here it is. Uh, do you guys know what does this commands do? This one, ferret and map hyphen pn. What does it do? Do you know that? At the very first step, you can say what does the nmap does. Okay, the very first step. Yes, Arvind. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So I will tell you what happens. Very first thing it says, nmap says, it does ping sweep. You can say. Okay, ping sweep happens over there at the very first thing. Second will be what? You can say second step. What will happen? If you remember, guys, when we were doing the verbose, did you notice that DNS something was also written over there? DNS lookup or those kind of a thing. DNS resolution started on all these kind of a thing, isn't it? Right? Perfect. So what it does your DNS lookup. You can say, like when you write, for example, nmap google.com, in that case it will look IP with respect to the domain name. It will look IP with respect to the domain name over there. And third, you can say a reverse DNS lookup. Right? Reverse DNS lookup, like as in what it does, nmap with respect to your IP address, it will look out for the domain name now, which is attached to that IP address. In normal lookup, you know, IP in respect to your domain, and in your reverse domain in respect to your IP. Okay. So once it is done with it, it will move on to the next one, which is for to check open ports. Okay. The last one is your fifth one, you can say. Does your NSC, which is your nmap script engine. Okay. First is a ping sweep, second is a DNS lookup, third is a reverse DNS lookup, fourth is your uh, open check the open ports, what all open ports are there, and fifth is the NSE. It runs some scripts over there. You can say nmap script engine scripts. Okay. So very first one is a ping sweep. What it does with a ping sweep, for example, if I perform some ping sweep, it checks for your host availability. So now we got the answer of this question. You might have also remember we have done this previously. I have even showed you yesterday about this one, how we scan the entire subnet range and all that part. Remember, guys? So our answer was the ARP ping scan, guys. Okay, ARP ping scan. The question is here now. This one would be easy, I guess. So, guys, the answer is your hyphen SV. Okay, hyphen SV. because it is saying about what? It is saying about the version of those services which are running. So if you remember, like yesterday only we saw when we wrote -sv, along with the services, their versions are also listed side by side. Remember? Right. So that will be your -sv, which is your service version as well. Okay. So guys, the answer for this question will be your Linux. Okay. So 128 will be referring to your what? It will be referring to your Windows. Go with the keyword. Go with the keyword. Anirudh, no. Pranali, no. Pratik, close, but no. Vinod Nair, no. Manyanu, good one, that's correct. Mahesh, no. Tejas, no. Yogesh, no. Pratik, no. Sanoj, no. Anirudh, no. Go with the keyword. Mahesh, yes, correct. Pratik, no. Yogesh, close, but no. Tejas, close, but no. Arun, no. Anirudh, yes. Pratik, yes. Manushree, yes. Shami, no. Tejas, yes. Sanoj, correct. Guys, keyword over here is this thing. Arvind, correct. Harish, no. Pranali, correct. Anirudh, no, 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 no. That's not the case. Arun, correct. Santosh, no, that's wrong. Harish, very close, but still wrong. Shamir, correct. Advin, no, that's wrong. Mohammad Khan, no. Admin, no. Santosh, no. Anirudh, good one. Perfect. I will explain it later also. If you want, I will explain it later. Don't worry. Arshad, no, that's wrong. Sure. Harish, correct. Arshad, yes, correct. Yes, Pranali. You have to know about them, like, they are pretty much simple, but just if you know about them, then you can easily, differentiate between them. It's not like too much complex. See, if I really talk about, for this one, the keyword itself says a similar one, which is almost like, look alike, or, which are related to it. When I'm saying I'm restricting or restricting to a particular, let's suppose, like, for example, the answer for this question will be related. Okay. I'm giving you one more question. It will itself clear your doubt. Go for this one. Admin, that's right. Mahesh, no. Arvind, correct. Yogesh, no. Arun, no. Mahesh, correct. Manushree, correct. Arvind, correct. Pratik, no. Pranali, no. Maninu, no. Restrict the search to the organization's web domain. One particular single domain. Site, correct. Site will be the answer for that. But we are, uh, see, it will do what? It will restrict, like Google will restrict all the results to those website in this given domain only. Nothing else. Nothing else. Right? With the site, what it will do, Google will restrict the results only to those websites which is in the given domain. That's it. Okay. If I write link, so it might do what? It might also give the list of the web pages that will be having the links which are pointing toward that domain. Make sense? So if I mentioned link, no, what it will do, it will also give out those pages which will be pointing to, or like which are having those links included in them, which are pointing toward the organization domain which I have written after the link. So those pages will also be included. Make sense? Got the point? Correct. So when you want to restrict to one particular thing, then we'll go with the site. Link will do what? Link will be like, was just, if there are many web pages, right? Why would I write location when I'm talking about domain? Right, Pranali? Like, why would I write, you know? Yeah, that's the reason. So what I can do, if you want some cheat sheet kind of a thing also and all that part, those things you can also get it from Google. If you write Google and if you write the difference between them, it's pretty easy and simple. You will get about the difference about each and every one, one liner, I guess. That will be enough. Okay. So this was just to, clear your like Google dorking. This is called your Google Docs, by the way, guys. Right. So what all things and what they do mean, you will get in Google. Very simple. It might be confusing. That's why I said, just give it a read. There is a one single liner difference, and it will be clearing out all the points for you. All right. And you were saying about in URL also, no? In URL means what? Like whatever I will do, no? Like if, for example, if I write in URL, uh, Sayam. So what it will do, any web page in which any web page in whose URL Sayam is mentioned, it will give out those results to me. Okay, it will give out those results to me. So any web page in which Sayam is mentioned, like any web page URL, if Sayam is mentioned, it will just give out those results to me. So that will be part of your IN URL. So it was, nothing at all related to any of the one which you have discussed. So we have discussed yesterday that we have to go through that. We discussed few scan types. Okay, few options of Nmap. Correct. Uh, okay. At the end, I remember that we discussed about Nmap hyphen SV and IP and also the regarding the scripts. If I'm not wrong, right? Hyphen SV hyphen SC. This one, correct? Hyphen SC for yes, to run the well-known scripts. Hyphen SC for your service versions, correct? And we were targeting the port number 21, which is for your FTP, isn't it? Okay, just a quick revision. I have to get my IP. To get my IP, I will write if config. I will grab this IP over here, right? Now I want to know what is the IP of my this metasploitable machine. So either what I can do, simply r-scan and do this 0/24. That will also work. Yeah, r-a, yeah, that will work. That will work. Nmap -sn doing this. This will also give me the results. Mm, Just to let you know, there are various ways. Okay, there are various ways to do that. Like if I write -sp -pr, we can see it is also giving the same results, isn't it, guys? Correct. Three different commands: ping scan, scan, and your this uh ping sheep, you can say. So these are giving me the same results. Different methods are there. That's why I'm saying there's no one limited way of doing the scan and to determine things, right? Plenty of them are there. Pretty much fine. I'm fine over here. Uh, Nav scan, you can see, pretty much, you know, uh, sorted results are here. Like, no extra informations are listed because others are showing your MAC address separately, you know, uh, host is up and all those information. So to cut down these things, what I can do, I can simply write pipe grep command. Grep will do what? Grep will be only grabbing those lines which are having report in itself. Because if you can see one thing over here, that like see, I'm only interested on those results where IPs are listed. I'm not interested in this MAC address, neither I'm interested in this where host is up written over there. Right now, my current end goal is that I want the IPs which are up so that I can determine which is my metasploitable IP, right? So what I did for that, I write grab. It means you can say grab the word report. So whichever line among these is having report written in them, it will display those lines for me. So for example, nmap scan report, this line. So can you see? It showed me that line only. For example, this one. So this one is here. 128, 120 is here. 254, 254 is here. 130, 130 is here. Make sense? And if you do see 130 is by parrot IP, so it will include that one as well. Perfect. So what we are able to determine, we were able to determine that okay, this one is our metasploitable IP. I will just copy it, and rest of the thing I will just put clear. Okay, fine. Now when I wanted to see what all vulnerabilities are there or what things are there in that particular port, I wrote a command -sc yesterday, nmap -s, right? See, -ss, -sv, -sc. Yes, correct, Arvind. So if you can see, this is very common, right? -s is common. So what I can do, if I run these individually, that will do what? It will be going with the stealth script, or sorry, stealth scan with scanning 1,000 well-known ports, giving me the service versions, and giving me the, or you can say running the well-known scripts as well. So if I hit enter, that will perform. And what I can do, I can also remove these hyphen s, small s. I can enter this one. So it will give me the same results. Stealth scan will be performed, scanning 1,000 well-known ports. We get the service versions as well, and -sc will also be performed, which is your to run the well-known scripts. Clear? So this is, you can say, a easy shortcut. You can say concatenate, or you can say the clearing out the common word, which you have done in your maths also back in the days, right? When we take the common integer over there, right? So it will take time because we are scanning 1,000 ports. So side by side, what I will do for the same thing. Okay, it did. Can you see? Doesn't, guys? Versions are also listed like this. See, version is listed. 1,000 ports are scanned. We can assume with that thing. See, 1,000 ports were scanned. I didn't mention the verbose, otherwise it will have showed you. But since it is mentioning 977 closed ports, and rest of them will be open ports. Versions we are getting, which means -sv is also working, and you can see scripts are also running, which means -sc is also working. Right. So what I can do, I will do what? I will simply target the port number 21 over here, which is your FTP port, so that it will be very quick. So we already saw that it will be running some scripts, and it says anonymous FTP login allowed. So you know anonymous FTP login allowed. You can say we can get inside that FTP port of that metasploitable machine with anonymous as in credentials. Okay, that's one vulnerability over there. That is one thing which we will see. One more thing which I wanted to show you. In Nmap, we have default scripts as well, which I was talking about yesterday. So if I show you over here, sudo su tour, wrong password, I guess. Okay. In here, what I will do, see on this right part, there was a command to know how many scripts are there. So I will do locate nmap/scripts, and you can see it gave me a pretty big, huge list for that, right? I'm fine with that as well. Okay, I'm fine with that as well. I want to see how many scripts are there. Simply, I will go with that. Locate grep. Oh, sorry, not grep. Word count hyphen lines. It will tell me there are 600 scripts for this one. That is also good thing. But right now, guys, our target is port number 21, which is FTP port, right? And one more thing. See, we got the OS also. Correct. Pretty much fine. My target is FTP port. So I will look out the scripts which are specially there for FTP port, right? So what I will do, FTP, and you will see we got plenty of good lists over here, right? About uh, 9. Okay, about 9 scripts are there. Pretty much fine. So I want to do what? I want to do, or you can say I want to run these scripts manually. Earlier we were using -sc, but I do not want to use it now. I want to run them manually because it might give me some good results, isn't it? So for that, what I'm gonna do is I'll be running them manually, you can say. Okay, so we will simply do and map. Yes, Arvind. And map. I will just show that another way. 21 hyphen hyphen script, guys. Hyphen hyphen script. And now what you can do is either you can copy this way, one by one. Paste, copy, paste. I won't do each and every one because it will take time actually. Paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, for example, like this. And the IP obviously, which is not mentioned over here. Just a minute, huh? 128, right? Okay, let's get back to this one. IP, which is 128. Okay, I will hit enter. Fail to resolve, fail to resolve, fail to resolve. 1 minute. So I guess you got your answer. Okay, got it now. So without spaces, we do not mention space because I have mentioned spaces in few scripts. That why it gave me that fail to resolve that part. So we ran these scripts and you can see we got a bit more detailed output, isn't it, guys? For NN we got anonymous FTP. For sys we got this. For VSFTPT it says backdoor is available for this version, and we can get a backdoor access into that machine as well. Perfect. So I have got a pretty good list, a pretty good hit, you can say, for these things, right? This was this when you are copying entire thing. This is one way when you are copying the entire thing over here. Correct. One way is there which I want you to try on your own because it's pretty simple. What I can do, I can just simply write hyphen hyphen script, and since all the scripts are starting with FTP, remember FTP. Like for example, uh, not here. Another port is SMTP, for example. See, similarly we got for SMTP as well. So what I can do, like if I go back for FTP part now, this part here, let's go back. So what I did in this, I mentioned FTP these scripts by copying and pasting them. I mentioned it by copying and pasting them. What I can do is, yes, menu. I can do what hyphen hyphen script, guys. And since each and every script was starting with FTP, no, it is starting with FTP only. So what I can do, I can simply write FTP hyphen and asterisk sign. It will mean what? It will mean include all the scripts which are starting from FTP hyphen. See, we got this one, right? We got regarding these things. Similarly, you can also try for SMTP. This task is that you should try for SMTP as well, the same thing. All right. Now, see, if you do for SMTP, you might not get some good results. Okay, and you can go for further enumeration as well. So we have one thing which is with the name MSF console. Let it load. It will be just loading its banner. Okay, you can see banner is loaded. So what I can do over here, guys, For example, if you talk about SMTP, I can simply do the enumeration of SMTP if I want to write. If I write like okay, if we write something like, you can see we are pretty lucky that we got one hit. So it is mentioning auxiliary. Can you see auxiliary is mentioned? It is mentioned over here as well, right? So auxiliary are what, guys? This is something which will actually help us to do the enumeration. Okay, when we get the detailed output, like usernames and all that part. So here, guys, just note one thing: we are not exploiting. It will not exploit right now. This will not attack the remote system. It will simply help you getting more detailed information. That's it. Okay. So now, if I want to use this auxiliary, what I will do? I will simply write use. Two ways are there again. Either I can copy this and paste it after this use, or can you see there is an index number 0 over here? So I can simply either add or write this index number and it will automatically take it for us. Can you see the prompt changes? So can you see now we are using this auxiliary, correct? Now see one more thing. What we will do? We'll do show options. In show options, we have few things over here. The important thing will be targeting remote port 25, which is for SMTP. That's everything fine. One thing is missing. Everything is filled. One thing is missing. Their details are listed over here on the side panel. You can see. So one thing is missing, which is the R host. R host is your what? The target host. Can you see? Description is also mentioned, right? It is a target host. So my target host is what? It is my metasploitable machine. No, isn't it? Remember, it is our metasploitable machine, which is having the IP 192.168.107.128. Correct. So I have to set up that R host first. To set that R host, I will simply write set R host and the IP 128 it is, and hit enter to confirm. See if it has already given us that okay, that has been set up, but I will just reconfirm it, and you can see the R host has been set up now. Correct, isn't it? After this, what you need to do? You simply need to write a command run, and that's it. It will start enumerating it. Right. It will take time. This is for your enumeration. Okay, it will take time. But side by side, let's try to do something else. Okay, let's try to exploit that version which we saw. You want to do that? Because this auxiliary is gonna do some this enumeration will take some time. Okay, so we'll keep it on hold and we'll see it later. Meanwhile, what we will do is we'll try to, you can say, uh get inside that version which we found it before. Okay, so when I did this nmap hyphen s c hyphen p21, we got these things, and you can see version is also listed over here. Correct. So what I will do now, I will go back to my MSF console because we already have a back or this. We know there's a backdoor access for this particular version. Why don't we try to exploit it, right? So what I will do simply is I will open my MSF console. I will try to search in respect to PSFTPD. Like if you notice, what is the first thing which is mentioned over here? Is it an exploit or is it an auxiliary post payload encoder knobs? Imagine what it is. It is an exploit, right? Which can actually help us to do that exploit. Correct. So we'll try to utilize it. So same process. I have to use this exploit. So what should I write? I will write use, either copy it or use 0. Hit enter. Can you see my prompt just got changed? Okay, R host is not set up yet. Correct. I have to set the R host. And you may also see there is a payload, guys. Payload is also mentioned over here. Payload is something which will help you to do that exploit as well, right? Perfectly fine. I have to set my R host. Set R host, IP, hit enter, cross check it. You see my R host has been set. Payload was automatically taken, so I don't need to fix the payload. Now what was the last command? It was run. Either you can write run, either you can write exploit. Both will work the same for this one. Hit enter, and root is always have that 0 user ID. Okay, always make a point of that. Root user always have the ID 0. Make sense? Administrator in your Windows has. Now you can see it, since it is saying UID equals to root, so I'm pretty much fine, what user I might be over here. And it says found shell. I have already found a shell over here. So if I do if config metasploitable, right? It is not metasploitable IPs. So it means I'm inside that machine. Like if I show you, right, if I write who am I? Root user. Present working directory slash it's your task. What does it mean? Okay. You have to research it. It's pretty good. It's like a question which is also asked a lot. So this is very good. Just research on this. What does this slash means? Yes, Manushree. Good one. Like file system. Okay, that is right. One more thing. Uname. Guys, what does it says? Which machine is it? Linux, Metasploitable, and kernel version is also mentioned for us. Can you see that? So it's pretty much clear that I'm inside my Metasploitable machine, right? If I do ls, you can see all these things are listed. So after this, whatsoever you want to, you can do that. You can steal out the data. You can go inside the particular file, particular directory, because you are a root user. So you will be having all those permissions as well. So go wherever you want to. etc file is pretty much interesting. Config files will be there. You can find out the passwords. You can find out the username inside this machine and all that part. Make sense? So it will be like, pretty much dangerous, and you can do whatever actions you want to. You can take it now because you're already inside this machine. One thing I want to also tell you guys, this is not it. MSF console is pretty huge. We get a lot of, framework, like, we get a lot of, you can say, this prompt and all that part. Metapreter is also there, one tool which can help you to go further exploits. One thing, when I showed you the payload part, like when we did show options now, we saw there was a payload option which was already, by default it was selected for us. So at times, what can happen if you go for other ports and then you try to, exploit them? Sometimes you have to play around with these payloads, guys. Sometimes what happens, the default payload which was selected, they might not work. So you have to, again, then, you have to select a payload which will work for you. So either do some research or try one by one. So for payload also, you can do, look out for how you can see the payloads. There's an option which says show payloads. It will give you the entire list of payloads which are, you know uh, in respect to that particular exploit which you have selected. Then you can select your payload by the same method, set payload, and give the option number. It will select the payload for you, and then you try to exploit it. So in short, what I'm trying to say is, at times you have to play around with the payload as well. So like, in case if you're, this way is not working, because hacking is not that easy, guys, right? So it's not like, by default it will do everything for you. At times you have to work upon it. So you have to search for them, like, what version it is, what are the exploits for this version, what are these vulnerabilities, which payload will be suited for this, all that part in short. And according to that, you can do your exploit. Okay. Do give it a try. Okay, everyone, do give it a try on the machine which I have provided to you. For metasploitable installation, as I told you, it will be very simple. The labs I have already provided to you. All you need to do is like this: find a file which is having three white papers. I find that icon. Just double click on it, and it will be running on your VM machine. It will be giving you a pop-up which says I copied it. Select that option, and everything will be working. Okay.